years ago when we were winterizing the engine and draining the oil from the engine, we discovered that there was water in the oil, which is not a good thing. This is a Yanmar engine. So as soon as we noticed the water in the oil, the first thing we did was flushed it 3 times. We did 3 oil changes to try to flush out any and all water that might be in there right away, because obviously the longer you leave the water in there, the more chance for messing up the whole thing, and that's a very expensive fix. We read many online boat forums about the Yanmar engine. We read the manual that we have. We talked to several local people, had them come by and look at it, give their thoughts and opinions on what might be going on. And we couldn't get a definitive answer, so we dove into self-diagnosis mode at that point. We decided to check the heat exchanger, the oil cooler.
Alright, so here's what we got going on. Oil cooler, water inlet here. Goes through the oil cooler, goes out. Normally this hose would connect to the transmission cooler, but I've bypassed it and just reconnected it to the other side inlet. Then comes back through the cooler, and then this is the outlet that I just have a plug in. This is the oil input and the oil output through the cooler. So I should see bubbles when I apply pressure, and so I have this hose hooked up to an air compressor that I have set to 70 psi, which comes out, actually, what's it sitting at right now? It's worked its way down to 60, but it was at 70. I'll just have to take my word for it. And I got no bubbles. There, it's back up to pressure. And nothing is coming out. So I believe that means the oil cooler is good. Alright, so we got the mixing elbow off. First look at the water inlet. Too bad to me, but looking at the outside there. Do not see any rust. So that's the fan for the turbo pump, I guess. Output, pretty open and clear. Alright, got the exhaust elbow off now. Looking in the water, comes around the outside. She looks pretty clean.
Everything seemed fine, so we reassembled the engine and it ran fine all summer. We were meticulous about checking the oil before and after every sail so we could try to figure out any sort of commonalities or what we were doing that day if we did notice more water in the oil. Everything ran fine, seemed fine for 7 months. And then we had a rough sail one day with the engine off, and we were mainly port side heeling. And this is when we noticed, when we returned from that sail, we noticed some water in the oil again. But actually, before that, we experienced what we suspected was a hydrolock. The engine wouldn't turn back on as we were coming back to the marina, and we needed to fire up the engine to get back into the marina. It wouldn't turn on. And so this was our first clue that the water may have been entering through the exhaust while we were heeling, specifically to the left. So this was a big clue and what may be going on, and kind of gave us a good idea of what we needed to check. To give you guys a brief rundown of how this works, as the wet exhaust leaves the engine when it's running, there's a mixing elbow that it mixes with cold water that's drawn up from the sea, meant to cool the hot exhaust, and then that passes through a lift muffler that will then push the exhaust out the back of the boat. And the way that this is positioned in our engine room means that when we are heeling port side or when we're heeling to the left, there's not enough force to be able to push it up and out, and it was kind of splashing back in to the oil and into the engine. So we set about trying to see what our options were. One option was to rearrange the exhaust system in the engine room to be more center line of the boat, but that was not possible with the setup that's in the engine room. There's just not enough room to rearrange it. So since we can't just simply rearrange it, another option is to have a custom fit piece welded in that would rearrange it where there's more room in the boat. And then another option, one that we actually ended up doing, was to add a high temp exhaust check valve into the system so that as the wet exhaust is leaving the engine, mixing with the mixing elbow, meant to cool it with the water, then it will pass through this check valve and then into the lift muffler. So this will, hopefully, what it's meant to do is to keep it from slipping back into the engine. This check valve is meant to prevent that from happening.
All right, well, here we are down in the hole where the engine lives, and we're going to install a one-way valve. So I'll get you guys hooked up here so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but it's basically going to be reconnecting all the various pipes to make this happen. The fun part, actually attempting to connect this. This is Boat Yoga 101. And we're back with a ratchet strap. Goal here is to try and tighten all these different connectors. So they're all a little bit loose right now. So I'm going to try and just ratchet strap them together so that, you know, I want to kind of minimize that distance. Really the goal here is to keep as much as possible this lifting muffler over the center line of the boat, which is really difficult to do when it's, you know, mounted over here and that's on the other side. So we'll see how it goes. And at least it's got a one-way valve, so unless the flapper melts, we won't have water getting back in the engine. So that'll be nice. Round 3 complete. Okay, so just to kind of do a quick overview of the completed project. I mean, you're only able to see from one angle there. Exhaust gases come out from under here, go into this area. This is the turbocharger. Air goes in there, that then forces air through. But the exhaust gases come out there, go into that mixing elbow. The mixing elbow mixes water coming out of that hose that's got a siphon brake and goes down to a water pump and then mixes with the exhaust gas. It then comes down there. Our newly installed, I don't know what you call it a hump hose, I think is what they call them. And then over to a one-way check valve. That is 16 inches from where the check valve is around the corner. It's a little bit tight. It's like just barely 16 inches. So I am a little bit worried about that check valve getting a little hot. But then once it gets past there, comes over to lift muffler, dumps in on the top. The hose from this end goes all the way to the bottom of it, and so that the pressure from the exhaust gases pushes the water level down and up and out here. Up all the way around. 3-inch pipe goes all the way up. It's almost like 3 feet of vertical, and then tapers down to the back of the boat. Way back. So that is what we got going on.
Tess says I almost fell in the hole. I almost fell in the hole.
Did she jump for it? She was trying to escape.
Taking the steps fast. Forgot the hole was there, but Kenny saved her.
There we go. I didn't realize what she was about to do. She runs up these steps and then over and whoops, don't want to fall down there.
It's like a 6-foot drop or something. Maybe not that deep.
Well,
you're standing up on the floor right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's like 4 feet. It's
yep,
still
it's like 4.5 feet. It's enough.
Because like your shoulders are above the floor, but yeah, it's still far for a dog to fall.
But Tess is okay.
It's getting chilly in here.
Everybody can sigh relief because the Tesla is okay.
Tesla. She's Tesla. Yeah. Are you okay? Not sure.
She's like, there's that hole over there. I don't know about that nonsense.
You're usually really careful, but she must have forgotten. So this brings us to today. Kenny has that installed now. The engine's running. Things seem to be good. We are back in the water. We did all of this while we were up on the hard. We're back in the water now. We've taken it on a couple quick test runs and checked the oil each time. Seems so far so good. We will continue to check the oil before and after every trip, and we will be bringing extra oil and filters with us on our big trip as well. And we will keep you posted on any changes from there. Thanks for watching today, guys.